Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss about the next topic, batteries. Right? Now, batteries, they are of two types. One, primary, that is not rechargeable. And second, secondary, that is rechargeable. So now it is understood what is primary cell. Yeah, primary batteries. Primary batteries means once you use it and then it is not rechargeable, then it is said to be primary cell. So cell which cannot be recharged is called primary cell, and the cell which can be recharged, yeah, rechargeable batteries, they are called secondary batteries. Right? Now we'll start with the first, primary. Primary batteries, total we have to study two here. One is Leclanché, yeah, Leclanché cell, or it is also known as dry cell. Leclanché cell, or it is also known as dry cell. And second, mercury cell, or it is also said to be button cell. Right? That small cell which we are using in our wristwatch, and this Leclanché cell you are using in transistor, clock and all these things. Right? So now here we will study with the first one. Dry cell or Leclanché. As it was discovered by Leclanché. Right? Now whenever we study any cell, we used to study its principle, then construction and then working. Right? So first, what is the principle of Leclanché cell? It converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Right? So this is an important point, that Leclanché cell, yeah, dry cell, it converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Right? We have studied in the beginning of this chapter, electrochemical cell, Daniell cell. In Daniell cell also, chemical reaction takes place and it was generating electricity. So chemical energy is converted to electrical energy. This is the principle. Second point is construction. Of the cell. In construction of the cell, I will draw the diagram here. Yeah, I will construct it. Take a cylindrical vessel made up of zinc acting as anode. Take a cylindrical vessel made up of zinc acting as anode, having a closed bottom. Right? Now, take a graphite rod and held it vertically in the center of the container. Take a graphite rod and held it vertically in the center of the container in such a way that it does not touch the bottom. This graphite rod act as This is anode, this will be acting as cathode. Act as cathode. Clear? This graphite rod is covered with MnO2 plus carbon powder. Powder of MnO2 plus carbon. Right? This graphite rod is covered. Now, what about the remaining portion? The remaining portion is filled with a paste of NH4Cl plus ZnCl2. The remaining portion is filled with a paste of this one. Just to show you, one is NH4Cl, another is ZnCl2. I have taken two different colors. But it's a mixture. Right? So, this is a paste of NH4Cl plus ZnCl2. So, this paste act as electrolyte, right? The mouth of the cylinder is closed with a special type of wax in such a way that small portion of the graphite rod remains above the seal. See? So now when you connect anode and cathode, when anode and cathode are connected, this is cathode, this is anode, bottom part. Right? If you connect them, then the cell starts working. So this was about construction. Again, take a cylindrical vessel having a closed bottom made up of zinc. Right? Take a graphite rod, held it vertically in the center of the container in such a way that it does not touch the bottom of the container. It is covered with a powder of MnO2 plus carbon, and the remaining portion is filled with a paste of NH4Cl plus ZnCl2. Right? It acts as electrolyte. Close the mouth of the cylinder with a special type of wax, and this whole container is being covered with a thick insulating material. Clear? So this was about construction. Now working. When anode and cathodes are connected, the following reaction takes place. Here I can write in construction, anode is zinc, right? Cathode is graphite. Graphite attached with MnO2 plus carbon, right? And electrolyte is, what is an electrolyte? NH4Cl plus ZnCl2. Already I have shown you in the diagram, but just for your information. Now third is working. When anode and cathodes are connected, when you connect anode and cathode, the following reaction takes place. At anode, you know anode is made up of zinc, right? So it will undergo oxidation. This is oxidation at anode. At cathode, now your cathode is MnO2, carbon is a rod, covered with a paste of NH4Cl. So from that NH4 plus takes electron, right? It will take electron and get deposited as. Now what you will get it? You will get like this. Mn OH. MnO and then OH. What is left? Ammonia gas, right? So I can write here one electron just to balance it. Clear now? Now here you can see the oxidation number of Mn. Here the oxidation number of Mn will be same, -2 into -2. -4 from that +1 is gone. So +3. Oxidation number. Here -2 into -2 into 2. -4 will go on opposite side. It will be +4. So here Mn3 cannot be back oxidized. Cannot be oxidized. 2 cannot be oxidized to +4. +3 cannot be back oxidized to +4, and therefore the reaction is not reversible. If reaction is not reversible, the cell cannot be recharged. So this is an important point. When MnO2 is undergoing reduction to give you MnOOH plus ammonia gas, the Mn is having an oxidation state +3. Here the Mn is having oxidation state +4, and Mn3 cannot be back oxidized to +4. That means reverse reaction is not possible. If reverse reaction is not possible, the cell cannot be recharged. Clear? That's why it is not rechargeable. It is a primary cell. Hence it is a primary cell. One more important point. Dry cell is not completely dry. Now why dry cell is not completely dry? Because it contains a paste of actually it is a moist paste. So it contains a paste of NH4Cl, and if it is 100% dry, then cell cannot work. So this is important. Dry cell is not completely dry because it contains a paste of NH4Cl and ZnCl2. Moreover, dry cell, if it is 100% dry, then cell cannot work. Yeah, it cannot produce electric current. So that is important. The dry cell is not completely dry. It contains a paste of NH4Cl, and if it is completely dry, it cannot conduct the electric current. It cannot produce electric current. Next, potential of the cell. (1.5 volt). Right? Next important point is the ammonia gas produced. If continuously ammonia gas is produced in the cell, then cell can burst, it can blast. So these ammonia will react with Zn+2. So ammonia gas produced at cathode will react with Zn+2. Four moles, and you will get a complex. So this type of complex are formed. Complexes are insoluble, right? So by this way your gas can be removed by reacting it with. Now what is the use? Dry cell is used in transistor, then clock, right? There are so many ways where you can use it. In transistor, you can use it in clock, in Walkman. There are so many things where we can use a dry cell. Clear? So this was about Leclanché or dry cell. Okay. Now second is mercury cell. It is also a primary cell. Same principle, it converts chemical energy into electrical energy, right? Now, what is anode? In mercury cell, anode is made up of zinc amalgam, zinc mercury, this is called zinc amalgam, right? Metal with mercury is called amalgam. So anode is made up of zinc amalgam and cathode is made up of mercury oxide plus carbon, that is graphite. Clear? Earlier case anode was zinc, this is zinc amalgam. In earlier case cathode was graphite, that is here also graphite, but attached with MnO2 powder, here it is with HgO. Electrolyte. Here the electrolyte is a paste of KOH plus ZNO. So this you have to remember. Electrolyte is a paste of KOH plus ZNO. In earlier case the electrolyte was ZnCl2 plus NH4Cl. Right? Now, this was about construction. All these three can come under construction. This is a principle. It converts chemical energy to electrical energy. Now working. What will be working? When anode and cathodes are connected, the following reaction takes place. Let me write the reaction. At anode, your zinc amalgam, right, it will combine with OH minus from the paste, OH minus, and it will give you ZNO plus H2O plus 2 electron. So this minus 2 charge is coming here, right, in form of, now it is balanced. Zinc combines with O and forms ZNO plus H2O plus water. At cathode, now what will happen at cathode? At cathode, you have HgO, carbon, actually it is an electrode, that combines with 2 electron because it undergoes reduction, plus water, right? So what will happen? It will give you Hg mercury plus, what is left? 2H and 2O. It will give you 2OH minus. Now, write the net reaction. What is the net reaction? Water is cancelled on both the sides. 2 electrons are cancelled. 2OH minus are cancelled. What is left? Zinc amalgam plus HgO gives ZnO plus Hg, right? So now you can see here, there is no ions in the net reaction throughout the whole life. No ions are produced. In the net reaction through the whole life of the cell. Clear? One important point, potential is 1.35 volt, which remains constant throughout the whole life. So this is important point you have to remember. Concentration changes, right? So this was about mercury cell. Cell which converts chemical energy into electrical energy. In construction, anode is made up of zinc amalgam, Cathode is made up of HGO plus carbon and the electrical paste is of KOH plus ZNO. Working when both are connected, at anode zinc amalgam is converted to ZNO and at cathode HGO is converted to Hg. And in the net reaction you can see there are no ions produced throughout the whole life. Right? Potential of the cell you have to remember, they can ask you. It is 1.35 volt, which remains constant. Okay. Then uses. It is suitable for low current devices like hearing aids and watches, especially wrist watches. Okay. Now, secondary cell. Here we are going to study lead storage cell and nickel cadmium storage cell. So these two storage cell we are going to study under the heading secondary cell. One more is there, fuel cell also. Right? First we will start with, now what is secondary cell? Cell which is rechargeable. It can be recharged many times if it is a good quality of secondary cell. First we will start with lead storage cell. Again here also it converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Secondary cell, lead storage cell, it converts chemical energy to electrical energy. In short, all batteries work on the principle of electrochemical cell. Clear? Where it converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Now construction. I will write here. Take two lead plate. One lead plate acting as anode, another lead plate PbO2 acting as cathode. We have to take two lead plates, one acting as anode, and we have written the rules. Anode is written on left side, cathode is written on right side, right? So one acting as anode, that is Pb, another acting as cathode, that is PbO2. Both are dipped in 38% W by W, weight by weight, H2SO4 solution. So your H2SO4 is an electrolyte. Right? So both the plates are dipped in 38% weight by weight H2SO4. Your 38% weight by weight H2SO4 is an electrolyte. Now, these are connected. Externally. So this is construction. Construction is very simple. Right? Now, working. But here I write anode is lead and cathode PbO2, electrolyte %, weight by weight H2SO4. So this is your construction, simple. Now working. When anode and cathodes are connected, following reaction takes place. At anode, lead is there, dipped in H2SO4 solution, right? This lead will be oxidized to Pb plus 2. This lead will be oxidized to Pb plus 2 and combines with SO4 2 minus. And combines with SO4 2 minus, so it forms PbSO4 plus. As it is converted to Pb plus 2, it will lose 2 electron. So this is your oxidation at anode. Clear? If I write PbSO4, you might not understood that it is converted to Pb plus 2. That's why I have written Pb plus 2 plus SO4 2 minus. At cathode, it is PbO2. It is also dipped in H2SO4 solution, right? So here also it will react with SO4 2 minus. Now, here theoretically we can say that 2 H2SO4 are used up. So how many H plus will be there into H2SO4? 4H plus, right? Takes 2 electron and get deposited as PbSO4 plus. See now, minus 2 minus 2, minus 4 plus 4, it is neutral. 4 hydrogens are there, so it will be 2H2. This is reduction. Clear? Now what is the net reaction? The net reaction is like this. 2 electron cancel. Then nothing is cancelled, so we will write each and everything left. Pb solid plus PbO2 solid plus, this is written 4H plus 2 SO4. Can I write it? 2 times H2SO4. This will give you 2 PbSO4 plus 2H2. This is your discharging reaction. Means your cell is discharged, right? Now this time in 2020, the question was asked, which is the correct reaction for the charging of lead storage cell? Based on that the questions were asked. So charging, you have to reverse it, right? So this is a discharging reaction, net reaction. Now during this reaction, PbSO4 is accumulated. It is collected, accumulated at anode and cathode, and H2SO4 is consumed. So I will write it here. This is accumulated. Accumulated, and this is consumed. This type of questions are also asked, right? So what is accumulated in lead storage cell when the cell is discharged? PbSO4. What is consumed? H2SO4. As H2SO4 is consumed, its density decreases, right? Now, in order to recharge the cell, you have to reverse the reaction. The reaction should be reversed. It should be reversed by passing electric current of higher voltage, battery. Generally when the cell is discharged, we used to bring another battery and supply the current, right? So cell reaction will be reversed and as a result your cell will be recharged. But that recharging is not 100%. Efficiency of recharging is not 100%. So that you have to remember. To make it 100%, periodically you have to add 38% weight by weight H2SO4 solution. So this is an important point in this. So what is one more important point? When you are recharging the lead storage cell, you are passing the current. That means reaction is not spontaneous. Under this condition it behaves like electrolytic cell. This was electrochemical cell. But when you are recharging, it becomes electrolytic cell. So this point you have to remember. Now what will be the recharging reaction? Charging. Charging reaction will be, see, it will be reverse. So I am writing this. 2 times PbSO4 plus 2H2O. On passing electric current, you will get Pb plus PbO2 plus 2H2SO4. Right? 2 PbSO4 plus 2H2O gives Pb plus PbO2 plus H2SO4. This is your charging reaction. When you charge the cell, because it is rechargeable, the cell reaction will be reversed. So I am writing this. This is an important point. Potential of the cell. 1.2 volt. You can increase the potential of, 2 volt, not 1.2, 2.0 volt. You can increase the potential of the cell by connecting large number of anode and cathode. If you want 6 volt, suppose if you want 12 volt, if 12 volt is required, then connect 6 anode plus 6 cathode. So when you connect 6 anode and 6 cathode, you will get 12 volt. Because 1 anode and 1 cathode is giving you 2 volt. So potential of the cell is 2 volt. This type of batteries are used in vehicles, right? Then inverters, etc. Yeah, we are using Exide batteries and all that. They are lead storage cell. Another is also there, nickel CD storage cell. Have longer life than, here it has longer life than lead storage cell, but expensive to prepare. So commercially it is not favorable. So we are not using nickel cadmium storage cell. But one reaction is there, charging reaction, discharging reaction. That is given in your NCERT. So you can write nickel plus cadmium. This will give you CDO plus NiOH twice plus, now there were 6 hydrogen, here 4 hydrogen, so water. So this is your discharging reaction. If you want to charge it, you have to reverse the reaction. Clear? Same nickel cadmium storage cell can also be used as lead storage cell, right? But expensive. And as it is expensive, no one is using it, and commercially it is difficult to sell in the market. So important is our lead storage cell, which we are using in our inverters, we are using in our vehicles like car, trucks, buses, even in your scooty and bike also, right? Okay.